In a remarkable twist last night, a federal courtroom erupted during a tense exchange between Representative Jasmine Crockett and Judge Chen. What started as a routine legal proceeding escalated when Chen openly laughed at Crockett, only to face an unexpectedly forceful rebuttal. The gallery froze. Social media exploded. According to courtroom sources, the hearing centered around a fictional ethics case, with Crockett passionately defending her stance. What followed? An electric confrontation. Crockett's resolve met Chen's ridicule, sparking a viral firestorm. But before we go further, tell us where you're tuning in from. Let's track this moment. Crockett, known for her fearless political voice, arrived with purpose. She addressed the chamber confidently. Judge Chen, typically composed, responded with a calm warning. Miss Crockett, your arguments, bold. Let's keep it grounded. The room shifted. Attendees watched, silent. Crockett nodded firmly. Grounded. I'm here for justice. Moments later, Chen chuckled at her defense, calling her framing a stretch. The gallery gasped. Some recorded, others simply stared. Crockett's response? Direct and unwavering. I'm standing on truth. Laugh if you want. The tension heightened instantly. Court officers watched closely. Emotions escalated. Chen's grin remained, but the mood had shifted. Crockett's words hung in the air unmistakable. This wasn't over. What happened next wasn't just laughter. It was the beginning of a storm. As Judge Chen's chuckles rang out, Crockett leaned forward, her expression steely. Laugh. I'm here for the people, Your Honor, not your amusement, she said, voice calm, but carrying a weight that could shatter glass. Chen smirked, but his amusement didn't last long. Amusement? You're testing this court, Miss Crockett, he snapped. His tone was now colder, more imposing. The tension in the gallery was palpable. People shouted, some leaned forward, and the room seemed to pulse with the rawness of the moment. With Crockett's resolve hardening and Chen's demeanor shifting, the atmosphere reached a fever pitch. The night was about to take an unexpected turn, a heart-pounding crescendo that would leave everyone breathless. What had begun as a seemingly simple hearing had now become a defining moment in the battle for truth and justice. As sources report, after Crockett's steady declaration, I'm standing on truth, and Chen's retort, I'll maintain order, the stakes skyrocketed. Crockett, unwavering in her belief, pressed on. Amusement, Your Honor? Your laughter dismisses my fight for the people. Crockett's voice rang out, clear and cutting. The gallery's reaction was immediate. Some gasped, others murmured, and Chen's smug expression faltered. Dismissing your passion is noted, Ms. Crockett, but you're pushing this court, Chen said, his voice now a sharp blade. The room was on edge, the tension mounting with every word exchanged. Contempt? I'm exposing your bias, Your Honor. Crockett shot back, her voice unwavering, her eyes locked on Chen's. The gallery's emotions were a whirlwind. Some clapped, others stood frozen, as court officers watched closely, signaling the rising intensity. The courtroom, once a place of order, was now a battleground. His rebuke cut deep, and Crockett's fire only burned brighter. What made this moment even more powerful wasn't just her defiance. It was the shift in Chen's tone from amusement to an unrelenting show of authority. Leaning in, his voice calm and firm, he said, reckless. Your outburst undermines this court, Ms. Crockett. Rein it in. His tone carried weight, but Crockett wasn't about to back down. Rein it in, Crockett responded, unflinching. You laughed at my truth, Your Honor. I'll stand. She gestured toward her notes, and the gallery exploded, some murmuring, some gasping, others quickly filming the scene. Crockett's fiery passion was unmistakable, and the room became alive with energy. Her hands gripped the podium, determination fueling her words. Stand. Your dismissal is shaky, Your Honor. I'll prove my case. The intensity in the courtroom was palpable as the crowd watched in rapt attention. Some stood, some whispered. This was no longer just a legal argument. It was a power struggle. Chen's response was cutting. Prove you're a provocator, Miss Crockett. You're slipping. His words were sharp, meant to destabilize her. The gallery roared, emotions running high. Court officers signaled for calm, but the tension only thickened. Crockett didn't relent. I'm your challenge, Your Honor. You're underestimating me, she declared, her voice rising. The room buzzed with anticipation as Crockett's unwavering spirit collided with Chen's authority. The night was rapidly building toward a breathtaking climax, Crockett's defiance becoming legendary. Slipping, Ms. Crockett. Your defiance is reckless, Judge Chen declared, his voice heavy with the power of his office. He tore into her defense of the fictional ethics violation case, citing procedural flaws. The crowd's reaction was immediate. Some gasped, others murmured, as Crockett's steely gaze met his. Thin? My case is rooted in truth, Your Honor. You're off base, Crockett retorted, her voice sharp, her confidence unmistakable. The gallery surged with energy, murmurs mixed with clapping, the room vibrating with the mounting tension. Court officers moved restlessly, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. Chen wasn't backing down. Off base? You're undermining this court, Ms. Crockett. You're no match for procedure. His jab was sharp, cutting straight to the heart of the issue, but Crockett stood firm. Procedure? I'm exposing your dismissal, Your Honor. I'll hold my ground. Crockett's voice trembled with emotion, but her words were unyielding. The room split. Some shouted, "Go Jasmine," while others whispered, phones capturing every moment. The court was alive with the drama of the moment. Chen's eyes narrowed. You're a provocator, Miss Crockett. I'll enforce order, he growled. His rebuke was met with a roar from the gallery, but Crockett's determination was the fire that burned brightest. The courtroom had become a battlefield, and Crockett's fiery resolve was the force that threatened to bring it all to a head. Your laughter mocked my fight, Your Honor. I'll prove my cause. Crockett's voice was firm, laced with defiance. Chen's retort was sharp, his tone clipped. Prove? You're a politician, Miss Crockett. Your case won't stand. His words fell heavy, but the gallery's reaction was immediate. Cheers, jeers, and clips flooding X. Crockett's words spread like wildfire. Won't stand. My truth cuts, Your Honor. Brace yourself. Crockett's voice was unwavering, setting the courtroom ablaze. The chamber surged with emotion, and sources report court officers signaled urgently as Crockett pressed forward, each word igniting the tension further. Brace. Your ruling's flawed, Your Honor. My cause is just. Chen's voice was icy as he retorted. Just? You're overreaching, Ms. Crockett. You're done. The gallery erupted in reaction. Papers were thrown, phones were held high, but Crockett didn't flinch. Done? I'm just rising, Your Honor. Crockett's passion swelled, her defiance like a wave crashing against Chen's authority. The night surged forward, her words taking on the force of a storm. Her final plea shook the courtroom. Flawed ruling, Your Honor. My fight's for the silenced. Your laughter betrays them. Crockett's words, raw and vivid, were a direct challenge to the system she was up against. A reminder that her fight was about justice for those who had no voice. The gallery reacted fiercely, some sobbing, others gasping, while Chen's face softened. Silenced? You're a litigant, Ms. Crockett, not their savior. His words were firm, but faltering as the onlookers surged, murmurs blending with cheers. The air was thick with emotion as court officers froze, their radios crackling. Savior, your defiance disrupts this court, Miss Crockett, Chen pressed, driving the point home. Crockett leaned in, her eyes shining with unyielding passion. Order? I carry their pain, Your Honor. Your laughter can't bury my truth. Her voice trembled, but it was full of fire. The gallery erupted, some chanting, Jasmine, Jasmine, others whispering, She's moving him. Phones buzzed with clips, X flooded with shares. Crockett's defiance had become a storm, and Chen's authority was beginning to waver. Truth? You're overreaching, Ms. Crockett. You're done, Chen said, his voice now wavering. The audience surged, some shouting, Crockett's winning, while others whispered, Chen's the judge. The clash reached a fever pitch, and insiders say Crockett stood taller, unshaken. Done? My cause is their hope. Your Honor, Crockett declared, her voice soaring as she spoke of systemic inequities with searing clarity. Chen's composure softened. Hope you're passionate, Ms. Crockett, he muttered, his voice barely audible. The gallery erupted again. Some stood, some filmed, others sobbed. Crockett's plea went live, and in seconds, X exploded with shares. She was unstoppable, going viral. Millions watching as Crockett pressed on, her voice unwavering. I'm their voice, Your Honor. Feel their fight. The chamber pulsed with energy, and the truth in Crockett's words was undeniable. Sources reported that Chen gripped the bench, his composure slipping. You've challenged this court, Ms. Crockett, he said, his tone faltering. Chen's voice, tinged with respect, yet filled with hesitation, came through as Crockett fired back. Challenged? I'm their justice, Your Honor. Rethink your laughter. Her words were fierce, and the gallery erupted in a storm of reactions. Some rushed the barriers, while others chanted, Jasmine's truth. Chen paused, his gaze faltering, before he muttered, You're heard. Insiders exchanged knowing glances. She's shaking him. The night surged toward an incredible climax. Crockett's impassioned plea set the stage for a bold and surprising response that would transform the courtroom into a stage for her unrelenting spirit. What started as a simple hearing turned into a moment that left the gallery breathless and filled with awe. Chen's authority visibly faltered, his composure cracking as Crockett's vow, I'm their justice, rethink your laughter, marked the shift in the room. What followed was a bold gesture that left the courtroom in stunned silence. Her voice steady with conviction, Crockett took her plea a step further. Rethink, Your Honor. I'll show you their truth. Stepping away from the podium, she held up a stack of letters from her constituents, the weight of their struggles visible in her hands. These are their voices. Laugh at them, she said. The gallery's reaction was immediate and intense. Some cheered, others cried, while Chen's eyes widened. Miss Crockett, this is irregular. Return to your place, he stammered, clearly taken aback. The room surged with emotion, and court officers froze in place, radios silent. But Crockett pressed forward. Irregular. Their pain is real, Your Honor. Your laughter dismissed it. She placed the letters on the bench, tying her defense to the struggles of the people she represented. The gallery roared with approval, some chanting, Jasmine, Jasmine, while others whispered, She's unstoppable. As phones filmed and posts surged, Crockett stunned Chen, one read, trending fast. His composure cracked. You've made your point, Miss Crockett? I'm listening. His voice low, almost reflective. The audience erupted, some shouting, Crockett's winning. Others murmured, Chen shaken. The momentum had shifted. The climax was rapidly approaching. Insiders noted, Crockett stood resolute. She spoke with unwavering determination. Listening. Their hope demands respect, Your Honor, not mockery. Her words were a perfect blend of defiance and empathy, leaving Chen's resolve wavering. Respect. Your actions are bold, Miss Crockett. This court sees it, he admitted. The gallery surged, some standing, filming. Others moved to tears as clips hit X instantly. Crockett's move went viral. One post read, "She's a titan going viral," while another showed her fearless gesture. Millions of eyes were now on her. Chen nodded slowly, his voice tentative. "I'm reconsidering, Ms. Crockett. Your points are clear." The room pulsed with anticipation. What fueled Crockett's bold move was her raw sincerity. Sources report that Chen stared at the letters, his voice softening with respect. "Clear?" he asked. "You've disrupted this court, Miss Crockett?" But Crockett stood firm, resolute. "Disrupted? I've amplified their voices, Your Honor. Their trust demands it." The gallery erupted in a tidal wave of emotion, some rushing the barriers, others chanting, "Jasmine's fire." Chen sighed. "You've spoken." "I'm reflecting," he said, his voice conceding. The clash teetered on the edge of something seismic. Insiders murmured, "She's floored him." The night was heading toward a stunning resolution. Crockett's bold action had rocked the court. A federal courtroom erupted in a triumphant roar as Judge Edward Chen, his authority now softened by respect, fully acknowledged Crockett's shocking move, transforming the legal dispute into an awe-inspiring moment that left the gallery in awe. Crockett's unshakable resolve was undeniable. The internet exploded in the aftermath. Sources report that Crockett's bold declaration, "I've amplified their voices. Their trust demands it," left Chen stunned. Her gesture culminated in the judge's unexpected concession. "You've spoken." "I'm reflecting," a viral moment that was already reshaping the narrative. Chen, his voice laden with acknowledgement, made his shift official.